Now CNN's reporting is the president is considering pardoning him, and soon. What message would that send?
Well, it would send a message that, at least as far as President Trump is concerned, if you lie on his behalf, if you cover up for him, he will reward you. He will protect you, but only if he thinks it's in his interest. There are others that lied for him that he's not going to extend that kind of service to. But it just, frankly, reflects so ill on our democracy, on the United States. I imagine what people around the world think.
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here for Yellowhammer Now. Let's talk a little bit about the Donald Trump presidency. And I'm not talking about the one that's in place right now. I'm talking about the one that took place before the Biden administration. They told us that that was going to be an oligarchy, that it was going to be run by nothing but rich guys, and it would screw over people. They'd use the Justice Department to punish their enemies. They'd lie all of the time. They would be vicious and mean, and it would just be an absolute disaster. And then, at the end of that presidency, they told us, now that Donald Trump is probably enriching himself, we can't prove it, of course, he's probably going to give himself and everyone else a pardon, which he didn't do. And we were told that would be horrible if he did. But he didn't. Then the Biden administration took office. They'd already been enriching themselves. They used the Justice Department to go after people and harm them. And then at the end of the presidency, after giving an award to George Soros, they're worried about an oligarchy, they then decided to give out a bunch of pardons. Family members, friends, and political allies. Something they said they wouldn't do, and the people involved in them said that shouldn't happen.
President Trump is reportedly considering a wave of preemptive pardons. Does this concern you? All these preemptive pardons?
Well, it concerns me in terms of what kind of precedent it sets and how the rest of the world looks at us as a nation of laws and justice. You're not going to see in our administration that kind of approach to pardons, nor are you going to see in our administration the approach to making policy by tweets. It's just going to be a totally different way in which we approach the justice system.
Well, the seeking of pardons is powerful demonstration of the consciousness of guilt, or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble. And that's what's so shocking about this.
Issue pardons for the January 6th committee members, including yourself?
No, I don't want it. Look, here's the
You
thing.
don't want it?
No, because the second a pardon is issued, and look, I understand the theory behind it, because Donald Trump has clearly said he's going to go after everybody. And it's not going to be for the January 6th investigation. What they'll do is they'll weaponize other investigations. They'll look into everything and start an investigation that'll end up coming to naught, force people to pay money. This happened to Brad Raffensperger in Georgia as he was forced to defend himself. But the second you take a pardon, it looks like you're guilty of something. I'm guilty of nothing besides bringing the truth to the American people and in the process embarrassing Donald Trump, because for 187 minutes he sat there and did absolutely nothing and showed how weak and scared he truly was. So no, I don't want it.
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members? Would you do that if you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he is protecting his family and protecting their reputations from, villainous exterior forces that are against him.
First off, we should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability and that of his family members that pardons are a major obsession with him.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get-out-of-jail-free card, that seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right, with Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a lot, and they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But, where does that come from, that concept that you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand?
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Roca is literally my DA in my town. There will be opportunities to prosecute these people regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family, and there will be another day for them to die.
It has often been said that Donald Trump breaks people. And in this particular instance, he did. He broke these people completely. They are completely broken. He has turned them into something they claimed they didn't want to be and something they feared. But now they used that power that they accused other people of wanting to do exactly what they accused others of. Why? Because they were projecting. They were always projecting. This is exactly who they've always been. They wanted to convince you otherwise. Our friends in the media allowed that to happen. Now our friends in the media are very upset. Yes, they worry if this is a bad precedent. If Joe Biden's presidency ends on a sour note. No, it ends on a corrupt note. It's been corrupt the whole time. You just waited until the presidency was over before you gave a crap about it.